What if I told you that the San Francisco 49ers could still be preparing for some big moves after the 2025 NFL Draft? That as the dust settles from a weekend of drama, we see the front office quietly scanning the horizon for reinforcements at positions that could mean the difference between dominance and disappointment? That's exactly where we are. And if you think the roster is set, think again. I'm going to tell you all about it in detail. But first, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you're always in the know. Earlier this week, San Francisco made a strategic, almost surgical move by signing veteran offensive tackle DJ Humphries. And no, it wasn't just a roster-filling move. This signing was to fill a void that had, frankly, been ignored throughout the draft process. The Niners didn't select a single offensive tackle. Nothing. For fans who watched the draft and were hoping for a center, it was a head-scratcher. But the addition of Humphries, this completely changes the tone. Let's unpack this. DJ Humphries is not just some journeyman bouncing around late in his career. He's a 2015 first-round pick, selected 24th overall by the Arizona Cardinals, where he became a staple on the left side of their offensive line. Pro Bowler in 2021, team captain multiple times. The guy's resume is solid. And crucially, he's very familiar to 49ers fans because of his time in the NFC West. He's faced our guys, he's battled Nick Bosa. He knows the environment. Yes, there's a catch. Humphries tore his ACL in December 2023. That's why Arizona let him go. He had a short-lived stint with the Chiefs, playing just 92 snaps before being benched. Joe Thuney had to slide out to left tackle and hold things down. But remember, Humphries wasn't at 100%. That's not uncommon after a late-season ACL tear. Now he's 31, some will say he's past his prime. But here's the thing. When healthy, Humphries might actually be the third best offensive lineman on this team behind Trent Williams and Dominic Purdy. And if you're the Niners heading into a season where the Super Bowl is a realistic goal and your QB is about to get a massive payday, you need insurance, not just a body. Someone proven. Humphries fits that bill. This is not a replacement for Colton McKivitz. Don't get it twisted. McKivitz, despite his struggles, made progress last year and remains the starter at right tackle, at least for now. But Humphries gives you flexibility. He can swing, he can step in, and that's massive. Now let's flip to the secondary. You want an under-the-radar free agent who should be signed by now but somehow isn't. Asante Samuel Jr. Let that name sink in. Son of the legendary Asante Samuel. Productive from the jump, double-digit pass breakups in his first 3 seasons, but a shoulder injury in 2024 limited him to just 4 games. Still, the guy has 6 career interceptions and elite instincts. He turns 26 this October. He's young, he's hungry. And in today's exploding cornerback market, it makes no sense that he's unsigned. This could be a smart move for the Niners. Why? Demador Lenoir is versatile. He can play inside or outside. If the team decides Upton Stout isn't ready, why not bring in a guy like Samuel Jr. and let the competition play out? You need depth, you need competition, and you need upside. This is a player who checks all those boxes. And speaking of the secondary, there's another storyline developing post-draft that 49ers fans need to track closely. Malik Mustafa, the hard-hitting safety out of Wake Forest who impressed in his rookie season, is hurt again. Remember, he injured his ACL in college back in 2022. Then, in the season finale against the Cardinals this past year, he took a cleat to that same knee. The team initially thought he was okay, but the MRI told a different story. The graft was damaged, another surgery. Now he's out for an extended period. Mustafa was penciled in to start next to Jair Brown. Now, that plan is on hold. The team has Jason Pinnock. They have Richie Grant. They drafted Markel Siegel out of Kansas State, but none of those names give you the immediate impact of a seasoned pro. That brings us to Justin Simmons. Simmons is a four-time second-team All-Pro. He's had a long, respected career with the Broncos, and while his 2024 numbers dipped slightly, context matters. The Falcons' defense was in shambles, and Simmons was adjusting to a new scheme for the first time in his career. Despite that, he posted 7 pass breakups and 2 picks. You add Simmons to this secondary, and you're reinforcing a position that just took a big hit with Mustafa's injury. He brings leadership, he brings stability, and most of all, he brings talent. Or maybe you want a younger option, Julian Blackmon of the Colts. Also a free agent, less accomplished than Simmons, but another player with real potential. Then there's the defensive line. Zadarius Smith is a name that keeps coming up. He's no longer a full-time starter, but as a rotational edge rusher, he still brings power. 9 sacks last year, split between Cleveland and Detroit. Double-digit sacks in 2022. He's played wide 9 schemes. He fits right into the culture of the team. And with Drake Jackson's status still up in the air, why not bolster the pass rush? We've talked offense. We've talked defense. But let's not ignore the elephant in the room. Depth on the offensive line is still a concern. Yes, Humphries helps. But what happens if there's another injury? Behind the starters, we have guys like Israel Gutierrez and Austin Pleasance. Respectfully, those are not the guys you want protecting a $50 million quarterback. There are still veterans available. Dalton Reisner, Brandon Scherf, Jedrick Wills. Each has its pros and cons. Reisner, solid, versatile, and rarely penalized. Scherf, highly talented but aging. Wills, a former first-rounder who never really hit his stride with the Brown. But maybe all he needs is the right situation. And if you think the names we've already mentioned are the end of the line, hold on, because the chessboard is far from set. Let's get back to the offensive line scenario. The truth is, when you have a quarterback like Brock Purdy, who has proven he can play at a high level under pressure, your priority changes. You have to protect him. It's not just about avoiding sacks. It's about maximizing every possession. That means bolstering the trenches with experienced, strong, reliable players. Enter Brandon Scherf. A former first-round pick and 5-time Pro Bowler, he's no longer the dominant force. He once was, but he still has that edge, that veteran skill you want when the stakes get serious. Last season, he played over 1,000 snaps, allowed 0 sacks. Those are the kind of stats that front offices whisper, especially when combined with low penalties and reliable pass protection. Or how about Jedrick Wills? Yes, his career in Cleveland was a bust, marred by inconsistency and injuries. But this guy was a first-round pick out of Alabama. You don't get that without some serious talent. With the right coaching, and the Niners have one of the best offensive line coaches in the league, he could be a low-risk, high-reward investment. Let me know what you think, so let me know in the comments. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more news. Go Niners!